Welcome to the British and Irish Lions Predictor with me, Senior Mash. As ever, thank you for all your support. Well, hello there, Senior Mash, and it's Lions Predictions, something I've been doing since September. And on hold, I think I was one of the earliest to do a Lions prediction. And I did that on the basis I wanted to highlight some wonderful rugby players that I've had the absolute privilege to watch and get to know over the past 20 years. So, with no further ado, what is it currently looking like? Well, first and foremost, I took a look at the archives of Talking Rugby Union. The team very kindly gave me access, and I only got as far as January 2025, and I came across a 1 minute video of Harlequin and England's Danny Kerr talking about top players that he expects to see do well, both in the Six Nations and the British and Irish Lions. So I've included that in this review. Hope you enjoy it. See what Danny had to say. Very interesting.
Manny Raboso or Duan van der Merwe?
Oh, Manny Raboso.
Marcus Smith or Finn Russell?
Marcus Smith.
Jack Morgan or Ben Earl?
Ben Earl.
Alex Mitchell or Jameson Gibson Park?
Alex Mitchell.
Peyton Mavaka or Jamie George?
Oh, Jamie George.
Ignacio Brex or Ollie Lawrence?
Ollie Lawrence.
Daft Jenkins or Maro Itoje?
Maro Itoje.
Freddie Stewart or Liam Williams?
It's very English, this, isn't it? It's very English heavy. Freddie Stewart.
Josh Bayliss or Sam Underhill?
Oh, Underhill's too smug, so I'm going to go with Josh Bayliss.
Buddy Aki or Henry Slade?
Henry Slade.
Ty Byrne or George Martin?
Oh, don't tag him in here. I love Ty Byrne. I think he's so good. And I was there when he hit that 70-metre spiral. Stood right behind him. I'd have them both together, please.
Well, first and foremost, the British and Irish Lions are heading to Australia. Hopefully, plenty of blue sky, and they come back with lots of victories. For me, picking a Lions team has been really interesting. You might recall some of my earlier selections included Munster's Mike Haley, Bath Rurid McConaughey, Sale Sharks Tom O'Flaherty, Gloucester's Freddie Clark, and Glasgow Warriors Johnny Matthews. Well, I'm delighted to say that even at this late stage, having seen the Six Nations, I'm sticking with Mike Haley and Johnny Matthews. Well-deserved guys, and I hope you don't mind me being your fan club. So, what did I look at when I looked at fullback? Well, first of all, I couldn't look much further than Hugo Keenan and Blair Kinghorn. They've been quite outstanding during the Six Nations, and I'm sure Andy Farrell will be looking at them with huge interest. But for me, Mike Haley continues to lead the way in the United Rugby Championship. And for that reason, I'm going to stick with Mike. Good luck, Mike. Now, wingers. Interesting. Been with Duan van der Merwe and Darcy Graham for quite some weeks, and the Six Nations really just served to confirm that that is the best choice, in my opinion. I've got to say, however, that there are the likes of Tommy Freeman and particularly James Lowe of Ireland that should be holding their hands up, and I'm sure Andy Farrell will be looking at both of those players. But for me, those two wingers will suit the Australian conditions and we'll have a try fest. Fly half. Now that's an interesting one. Andy Farrell this week was quoted as saying, "My son Owen is in consideration." Now, is that because Farrell wanted to make the loud noise that players who are playing in France are eligible for selection? Or was it more, "I trust my son"? I tend to think it was the former, but there is no doubt that Owen Farrell is an absolute class act. Personally, I just don't think he's been playing enough in France. Now, he's got a few weeks to get back to that, and I'm hoping that we see plenty of him. That all said, my fly halves have consistently been Smith, whether Finn or Marcus, and the mercurial Finn Russell. And I'm going to stick with a Smith, and I'm going to go with Finn Smith, but I will have Finn Russell on the bench. Scrum half started with Tom Whiteley of Leicester Tigers. Tom, sorry, you're missing out on this selection. But as the weeks and months have gone by, I've looked at Alex Mitchell, I've looked at Ben White, I've looked at Jameson Gibson Park, and I can't really get past Thomas Williams from Wales. I would love to see how he plays with a team on the go forward with momentum. And for that reason, I'm going to stick with Thomas Williams as my scrum half. And now on to the forwards. At number 8, you'll know from conversations that I've had, I'm confused. I think probably the two best number 8s are both Irish. Caelan Doris, who was my pick as Lions captain, and Caelan, you're still my pick, and you would be my starting number 8. But boy, are you under pressure from Jack Conan. I've been so impressed with this guy. And I think he's got Lions experience that Farrell will buy into. At open side flanker, there's no one other than Ben Curry that can do this. I think he has been England's player of the Six Nations, and his performances for sale sometimes overlooked, but I think he has been truly outstanding. Ben Earl, distinct possibility. Expect him to be on the plane. And Van der Fleer, undoubtedly one of Farrell's favourites. Former World Player of the Year. Got to be in with a shout. Wouldn't underestimate what that experience gives Farrell in selecting a team for Australia Test matches. And at blindside, I've gone for Wales's Jack Morgan, who quite simply was outstanding, fighting a losing cause through the Six Nations, and I think well-deserved position in my team. So, talking rugby union, Lions predictions. Thoroughly enjoying bringing this to you. I'm Senior Mash, and there you can see it's a Itoje, Byrne, Morgan, Ben Curry, Caelan Doris. Owen Farrell, figured earlier. My experiences in Australia on a previous Lions tour, everywhere you go, it's gold and it's red, and it's a fabulous experience. If you get a chance to go and watch this live rugby spectacular, I would absolutely encourage you to do that. And as I'll mention in a minute, go find their hotel. So if you're able to get over to Australia, go and find out where the team hotel is. I did that a few years ago. Met up with Dan Cole, Jamie Roberts, and they are so very obliging to have a chat, give an autograph. It's something that makes a Lions tour very special. Just thinking about what Danny Kerr was saying, obviously very English bias, and I can understand that. I was biased towards the people that I knew. He put in some names that I think are worth just considering. Pierre Sherman, Rory Darge, Vea Waboso, injured, but could be that wildcard pick. Tom Roebuck, another wildcard, I thought had a really good test debut. Josh Bayliss, sort of on the periphery with Scotland, but for Bath has been very impressive. And in a way, he's sort of a little bit like Ben Earl. Henry Slade, surprisingly, Borthwick dropped him, but after the last Six Nations game, Slade was just an integral part of that England team. And suspicion that Slade and his left boot could be quite an attractive option for Andy Farrell. So, going to be interesting. So on the subs bench, who would I have? Well, I'd certainly have Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, Xander Fagerson. I'm going to go with Ollie Chesson. I'm going to go with Tom Curry. Should I go with Jack Conan? I think so. And then, where's that utility bag? I think the scrum half has to be Jameson Gibson Park. Where is that utility bag that can cover across? And I'm going to stick with Elliot Daly. I know I didn't mention him earlier, but I think for the purposes of this 23, Elliot Daly's our man. Let me know what you think. Down below, comment, thumbs up, subscribe. I'm using Substack, doing all sorts of things now on Substack. Substack's been great for my mindfulness, takes my mind away from other things, which we all need to do from time to time. I've also used it to look at childhood memories, and I've written some what I consider to be very interesting photo essays about my childhood memories. Have a look if you like. And now I'm experimenting with fiction for children's books. So again, if you wonder why I use Substack, that's why I'm using it. But there's more content on Substack from me about rugby union, Talking Rugby Union. And as ever, thank you to the team at Talking Rugby Union. They really do help. And without their resources, this would be very difficult to achieve. So thanks to all those involved. Do look forward to next time. So this is Senior Mash, looking forward to the British and Irish Lions.